Welcome to the Rewriting Naruto series part 55. This is a series of videos where I rewrite the Naruto series, making changes to improve the story for my personal taste. Everyone, please like this video immediately, it helps me out a lot. Also, subscribe if you haven't, and definitely ring those notifications so you know when the rewrites come out. It takes 5 seconds, please help the channel out, alright? And let's get going. The Itachi Pursuit Squadron slept in the dark forest, except for Shikamaru. The pain on his right stump was intense, but this wasn't what kept him awake. Shikamaru kept on thinking about the fight against Kabuto, drawing up hundreds of different scenarios, trying to figure out a way he could have saved Anko. Nothing seemed good enough to him. Kabuto's new powers caught him by surprise, and he wasn't able to come up with a proper counter even now. It was the same thing the day Asuma died. Sure, he eventually eliminated his sensei's killer, but Shikamaru needed to be effective the first time he encountered a new foe, even if he had no intel. Still, it didn't matter anymore. He could no longer be a ninja without an arm. Shikamaru would join one of the Leaf Village's intelligence branches and salvage his ninja career somehow. That was the only way he could be helpful. A great column of light manifested itself at the horizon. It was so massive and bright that it turned the night more luminous than day. "Everyone, look!" Shikamaru yelled, waking the others. "What the hell is that?" Naruto asked. The column of light had two protrusions that pointed up in a diagonal line. "I have no idea," Kakashi said. "Whatever it is, it's gigantic," Yamato said. "Oh, it's beautiful," Ino said. "It's some sort of chakra." Neji stared at it with his Byakugan. His face was still cut and bruised from the fight against Sasuke. "And the feel of the chakra is similar to Deidara's. It reminds me of the chakra, the fake-out explosion he used to escape us when we were rescuing the Kazekage." The shockwave hit with a deafening sound, blowing away the leaves from the trees around them and bending their trunks. They were all launched a few meters by sheer air pressure. Tenten hit her head on a rock and passed out. Sakura rushed to her and quickly started to heal her bleeding forehead. It was 93 seconds between the blast and the shockwave. "That beacon of light is almost 32 kilometers away," Shikamaru said. "But if the Deidara guy wasn't after Naruto, then who did he use that jutsu on?" Kiba asked. "Sasuke Uchiha," Shino said. "Why would Sasuke be fighting him?" Sakura asked. "To collect intel on Itachi, of course. That is the purpose of our mission as well as his. If I hadn't failed to track Deidara, we could have done that instead." "I don't know, I'm kinda glad we weren't the target of that explosion," Choji said. "But if we know Deidara's there, we should rush there now! We can still catch him!" Lee said. "Lee, you can barely stand up from the gates. My heels are cut, and we're all hurt. And Shikamaru said that thing was like 100 kilometers away. 32. Yeah, same thing, we just can't get there in time. It would be too risky." "Do you have a fever, Naruto? Normally you'd be the first one rushing there," Yamato said. "There's no point going in there right now as we are. We need Sakura and Ina to heal us tomorrow, right, Kakashi-sensei?" Exactly. Kakashi was impressed with Naruto's maturity. "But Naruto, if Sasuke was a target of that explosion like Shino said, I really doubt he could have survived it," Shikamaru said. "Nah, you think that tiny flare's gonna take Sasuke out? Don't be so naive. That wasn't tiny, man. I just can't see a world where Sasuke would lose to that Deidara guy." "That Deidara, he blew himself up," Black Zetsu said, staring at Deidara's demise. "What about Tobi?" White Zetsu asked. "He was caught in the explosion. He was within the blast range." "Well, so much for that. He's such a good boy." "That is a good thing. It was about time Tobi died." "What the hell was that shockwave?" Suigetsu shouted after the blast woke him up. "I don't know, but it can't be good," Karin screamed. "What's going on?" Juugo said, finally waking up. "I don't know what could create an explosion of that size. Even a tail beast bomb doesn't come close," Suigetsu said, worried. Karin tried to send Sasuke's chakra, and she felt nothing. It couldn't be. Sasuke could not be in that explosion, could he? "Sasuke, no!" At this point, we get the scene where the Akatsuki unite and talk about Tobi and Deidara's deaths, and Zetsu tells Itachi that Sasuke died as well. This scene will largely remain the same, but Itachi and Kisame will be holograms instead of being physically on top of the Ghetto Mazo, because they're currently in the Blazing Horn region. One noteworthy change is that Itachi will keep his right hand within his robe to hide the fact he's wearing no ring. Even though he's a hologram, he's not going to take any risks, and Kisame will do the same with his left hand, which is his ring hand. Smoke emerged from a scroll attached to Suigetsu's waist, and the snake symbol had vanished from it. Alright, that's how he did it. Suigetsu uses that scroll and Sasuke's blood to summon Manda. We then get the same scene where Sasuke comes out of the snake, and it's pretty much exactly how the original is, but there will be one addition. When Karin thirsts over Sasuke all hurt and shirtless, Suigetsu will look at her with a scowl, and there will be a change in one of Sasuke's lines. Instead of Sasuke saying Orochimaru was ill and that's why he defeated him so easily, after Karin's provocation, he will say, "That guy was stronger than Orochimaru." We then get the Tobi Madara reveal scene where he talks to Pain and Konan. A few lines will change here. Madara will not say that Itachi doesn't have much longer, he will say instead, he senses our end goal is near. And instead of saying Naruto destroyed 2 of Kaku's hearts, he'll say he destroyed 3 because that's what happened in the rewrite. Also in the manga, this scene is split between 2 chapters with other scenes in between, but in the rewrite, we'll get the whole reveal without interruptions in between. That will actually help the flow of the narrative in the rewrite. And it's here that we find out that the man who saved Konan in the Land of Whirlpools, as well as the man who saved Team Heavy during the Itachi Pursuit Mission, was Tobi, aka Madara Uchiha. In the context of the rewrite, this reveal should hit even harder because Madara was teased and foreshadowed even more than in the original. We then get the scene when Itachi and Kisame are in the rain, and they talk about whether or not Sasuke is dead. That does not change. The difference is that this scene will be during the night, and when the scene is about to end and the storm is fading away, the sun will be rising at the same time. Team Heavy takes Sasuke to rest in that inn. They exchange the information that they couldn't find much on the Akatsuki like in the original, and then Suigetsu says, "We also fought against a Leaf, Sakura more specifically." Sasuke's gaze remained firm, and Suigetsu was taken aback by Sasuke's non-reaction to the name. "You know, Karin even tried to Karin slapped Suigetsu in the mouth, preventing him from finishing the sentence. "God, what was that for?" "I saved her life after Juugo went berserk. That's what I did." Sasuke narrowed his eyes. "You're out of control again, Juugo?" "Yes. I'm sorry. Who stopped you this time?" "It was Bugman!" "Shino, I see. Will you be more careful next time, Sasuke?" "It was your fault he went berserk, you idiot." "Shut up, Suigetsu!" "We have to be on guard. This place is flocking with Leaf ninjas. Karin, use your sensory capabilities to detect any approaching shinobis, and Juugo, use your birds to scout as well. They can sense chakra, can't they?" "Yes, they should be able to help." "Wow, so even lowly animals can sense chakra, huh? Just like Karin." Suigetsu said, provoking her. He didn't want her to focus on Sasuke so much, and teasing other people and being mean to them was his way of trying to get attention and also showing affection. But Karin stomped on his face, exploding Suigetsu into water. And here we get the same scene when Juugo runs out of control from the violence he witnesses. Sasuke activates his Sharingan to calm him down, and then Sasuke falls asleep completely exhausted. "Oh, damn it! I didn't even ask him to summon my executioner's blade back." "Don't wake him up for that. He needs to rest," Karin said, and Suigetsu pouted at that. "Oh, stop being a baby." "We're off then," Shikamaru told the group. His stump was wrapped by bandages, and Sakura had given it proper healing. She managed to make the pain stop completely. Tenten was next to him. Her head was wrapped in bandages from the incident a few hours ago. "Safe journey to you," Kakashi said, and the two jumped away to return to the Leaf Village. Sakura and Ino, now with their chakra recovered, healed the members of the squadron. Pretty much all of them were hurt in varying degrees. They would spend the whole day healing, and their chakras would be depleted as well. Sakura used her healing ninjutsu on Neji's face. She had never seen someone getting beaten up so bad like that, and Sasuke had been the one to do it. "I can't believe he did this to you. Why would he?" Sakura asked. "Honestly, he didn't want to," Neji said. "What do you mean?" "I pushed him into fighting me, even though he wanted to leave." "But why? I'm closing your wounds, but the scars will stay on your face forever." "I needed to experience it for myself. The feeling of powerlessness. Right now, I'm not even close to his level, and I need to remember that. Naruto said Sasuke froze when he saw me, or my image. But if he did this to Neji, I wonder what he would do to me if we encountered each other. And that explosion, what if it actually caught him?" Sakura thought. She felt a tender touch on her shoulder. It was Naruto's hand. He must have noticed she was looking worried. "You'll be alright, Sakura. We're bringing him back. Kakashi-sensei and Captain Yamato came up with a good plan." "And what is this plan?" "If we can't find Sasuke or Itachi before they fight each other, we will no doubt be able to detect them when they engage in combat," Kakashi said. "When they lock in combat, those two will create a a battle of epic proportions. That should be easy for us to locate and detect with our sensory types. So even if we can't find them before they clash, we can still rush to their fight and stop them. And hopefully by the time we arrive, they will both be weakened by them fighting each other, and it will be easier for us to capture them both. This will only work if the fight doesn't end quickly though, but it's the best we have, and this really doesn't look like the type of fight that would end in a minute, Yamato said. If we fight together, we can beat them, especially with my new jutsu. It's made for the Sharingan, Naruto told Sakura, who smiled and nodded at him, reassured. He sleeps like a princess, doesn't he? Suigetsu said as Sasuke slept in the room. The three other heavy members sat on the ground around him. I never met a princess, so I don't know. Oh, shut up, Suigetsu. Well, good news is that I don't sense any chakra presences approaching us. The leaf ninjas are probably resting. Great, I suppose. It is a good thing. It would be better if I had my sword. You'll have it once Sasuke wakes up, for crying out loud. Yeah, sure. We can't wake up the princess. Sasuke's not a princess. Sure he is. He was always Orochimaru's favorite. That's true, I suppose. See? Well, that's because Orochimaru wanted to obtain Sasuke's body. That's why he treated him so well, relatively speaking. Yeah, if you think about it, all our lives were horrible under Orochimaru. Oh, shut your mouth! You were a prison warden. That's nothing. I was stuck in water for years. In a tank! Like a fish! I didn't have it easy, okay? I never did. Oh yeah, I bet your life was horrible. It was. How so? I was born in the grass village, but I never knew my parents, so I lived on the streets, scraping by. No one ever cared about me. And one night, when I was 8, I was sleeping in an alleyway and a man attacked me and stabbed me in the gut 7 times with a rusty knife. Wait, what? Why? I didn't want to be his plaything. A grass ninja heard what happened and came to see what was going on. I killed the man who stabbed me. I was going to take my body to the morgue, but my wounds closed up and I survived. Apparently I had a talent, and that got that ninja's attention. He took me to the village elders and told them what I could do. I thought I was going to be praised and that my situation would improve, that somebody would finally take care of me and I wouldn't have to live on the streets anymore. But the village elders wanted to test my powers. They saw me as an opportunity, so they locked me in a basement, and a grass ninja who was a torture specialist ran all these weird experiments to measure the extent of my powers, calling up hundreds of people to bite into me and drain my chakra to see how good I could heal them. He even made other people bleed, inflicted wounds on several people and made me heal them. They bit all over my body. I find myself wanting to have died to that man who stabbed me, but after weeks of torture, they finally let me out of the basement. I passed all the tests he ran on me. I could regenerate my wounds and other people's wounds if they bit me and drained my chakra. So I was to become a ninja of the grass village. I thought I would finally live, but they used me as a healing battery. I went on missions so they could get healing from me. I did rounds in the grass village healing ninjas and citizens that were sick or wounded in exchange for payment, but I never saw that money. Everything went to the village itself. People from all around the land of grass flocked to the village to get healing from me, and I was ordered to do so. I was a tool to improve the nation's health, to keep their ninjas alive, to make that nation a better place. But what about me? They used me for years, and still no one cared about me. I was only good for my powers. And for a time, the grass village managed to accept much harder missions because they had me as a guarantee their ninjas wouldn't die. They bit me all over my body, and they kept doing it every day. Every time someone got a paper cut, they came to bite me, and they bit me in places. Well, that's how I found biting on my chest heals faster, and no one ever said thank you. No one ever acknowledged me. I might as well have been an object, a healing potion. I find out that was per the village elders' request, so that they wouldn't pity me and would drain me to the bone without caring for my well-being. I was only supposed to be used. When I found out about that, I was furious. I wanted to kill everyone who used me for healing, and above all, I wanted to kill the elders who ordered my torture and who made me a tool. So I trained in secret to develop other ninjas ninja abilities, as they never wanted to teach me combat-related stuff. I wasn't supposed to defend myself. It's much easier to have a healing battery that doesn't fight back, but combat techniques would let me kill them, and I was good at them, but I just couldn't take my revenge. I didn't have the willpower to revolt. I just accepted the hell my life was, wishing those knife stabs had taken me. But one day they sent me with a 3-man cell to participate in the Leaf Village tuning exams. They needed me in the team to make sure they would pass. I was their only guarantee of survival, and when I was away from the village and adult supervisors, I began to act more independently. I took over my squadron and became their leader. I commanded them to do what I wanted, and I showed my prowess in combat. They were surprised, but they had to obey me. I was stronger than them, and I plotted to escape after the tuning exams were done. But then I met Sasuke in that forest. Our squadrons fought, and they beat us bad, but I was enthralled. After they left us, I abandoned my squadron looking for Sasuke. I wanted to see him again, but when I finally located his chakra in the terrible forest, he was locked in combat with a creature. It wore the skin of a ninja from my village, but it wasn't her. What creature? Its chakra was dark, the most evil thing I've ever felt. That was Orochimaru. I saw him bestowing the curse mark to Sasuke, and I was overtaken by fear. Even though I wanted to help Sasuke, even though I saw his pain, I could just run away from that monster. But somehow he found me in the forest. I thought he had come to kill me for witnessing his fight against Sasuke, but instead he smiled and touched my cheek. And that was the first time I felt somebody showing affection.
My dear, you seem lost. Come with me. I will give you love and shelter, and Sasuke will join me shortly. If you come with me, you will see him again.
And so I left for Orochimaru. When the second test in the Forest of Death ended, Yoroi took me back to his hideout, and I started living there. I received additional ninja training, and it became a new home. I thought things had improved, but then Orochimaru arrived back from the failed attempt to destroy the Leaf Village, and his arms were cursed. He used me for my powers once more, drained me, trying everything he could to heal those wretched arms, but my healing could only provide mild relief, and that made him lash out in anger. He hurt me in the most nefarious ways. The Grass Village torture was nothing compared to him. Eventually he went looking for a better medic ninja, but he failed to get Tsunade to heal his arms, and so he went back to me, still lashing out when I failed to provide adequate results. I wanted to kill him so bad, but even if I had the willpower to do that, this time I could never. The difference in strength was simply too much. He only stopped doing that when he got a new body. He still couldn't use his arms, he couldn't mold chakra, but at least it didn't hurt anymore, so he didn't lash out on me. And then Sasuke arrived to the hideout. Seeing him there was like seeing a savior, God itself. He would take me out of that place, and we would live together forever.
Oh, spare me.
Let me finish. I saw something I couldn't imagine there. Sasuke talked back to Orochimaru, treating him like trash on his first day. That made me love him so much more. But Sasuke didn't even acknowledge me. He had different goals. He was focused on his revenge, and Orochimaru transferred me to some other place. I thought I would never see him again, so I protested because I wanted to see Sasuke, but Orochimaru said,
I promised that you would see Sasuke again, and you did.
So they took me to the southern hideout. There, Orochimaru used me to conduct his experiments. Some where I was the subject, and others where he simply served to heal who he was experimenting on, so he could push the boundaries of what he could do and not kill the subject. Once again, I was nothing but a tool, and it was so much worse. Never thought I would miss the Grass Village. Orochimaru's experiments were sadistic. I saw him killing at least 1,000 people in front of me when even my healing ninjutsu couldn't keep up. They all died in the most brutal ways, but I behaved, completely devoid of any willingness to revolt, and utterly terrified of that creature. I did what he asked me to do, which eventually led him to promote me to the warden of the southern hideout. Hideout? That was just a prison. It was a prison, a hideout, and a terrifying lab. The prisoners were used for his experiments. When I became warden, he still did his experiments on me, but at least my life became a bit more bearable. I once again accepted that would be my life forever, and I would just have to get used to the suffering. But one day that all changed when Sasuke arrived at the southern hideout with the news that he had killed Orochimaru and was there to rescue me. I was there too, you know. It was my dream come true. Finally, he rescued me from Orochimaru, and now I can live a happy life with him. Ironic. ironic? What's ironic? You complain that every single person in your life didn't care about you and only used you as a tool for your powers, and that Sasuke saved you from that, but he's doing the exact same thing. You were a tool for his revenge. He's using you for your healing and sensorial capabilities. Can you not see that? Suigetsu said, looking at Sasuke, who was in a deep sleep. That's not true! Sasuke's not like them! Well, sure. Sasuke's not a psychopath bastard, but he is still using you for your powers. Karin started to cry. No, he cares about me. He's different. Juugo grabbed a blanket and put it over Karin to comfort her. He cares about you as a comrade, but you're helping him out because you want to get him in the end. But his heart belongs to another woman. I'll win him over. I really doubt that. I just don't understand how you cannot see the contradiction between your past and you liking Sasuke. You complain you're a tool, but no one will respect you if you don't respect yourself. You don't choose who you love. Tell me about it. Orochimaru connected the four of us in perverse ways. We have to do our best with these connections that were forged in darkness to make our lives better. It's the only thing we have left. Juugo said. I'm sorry, Karin. I didn't know all those things happened to you, and I didn't mean to lash out. I just wish you would. Never mind. You wish I would what? I said never mind. You're infuriating. You're so much more infuriating. Calm down, you two. You don't want me to get out of control again. Karin and Suigetsu shut up immediately. I'm sorry. I wish I didn't have this condition. Juugo lowered his head in shame. It's okay, Juugo, Karin said. So, I told you my story, and now you have to tell me yours. Pass. You just make fun of me. I wouldn't. I can tell you mine if you want. Yes, go ahead, Juugo. I bet your story is much better than Suigetsu's. I wasn't always bipolar. I was born on a large island to the south of the Shinobi continent called Giseizo. It was an extremely remote place, and the society there was primitive if you compare it to any nation in this continent. Life was peaceful for the most part, and we lived mostly off of fishing. My father was a vendor. He sold fish in the town markets, and my mother worked sewing. But when I was around 8 years old, the leader of the island died, leaving 2 sons to inherit it. The older son was a bastard, and the younger one was illegitimate. One thing led to another, and the island erupted into a civil war. Each brother raised an army, forcing the inhabitants of the respective territories to fight and die for them. It was brutal. The brothers didn't care at all about their people. They killed everyone who didn't support their cause, even though they were fighting to rule the entire island for the good of the people. Friends, families, even neighbors were forced to fight and kill each other for the whims of those brothers. My father died on the battlefield the first year of the war, fighting for the older brother's army. He was killed by a battalion made up of fishermen that used to sell him fish. My mother was killed by one of the younger brother's extermination battalions in the second year of the war. After they raided our home, I was captured and they forced me to enlist into their army, the army that had killed my parents. I was only 10 at that time. They gave me no training and threw me into the battlefield to use me as fodder, but I didn't die. Time and time again, even though I was a 10-year-old boy with no training, I could fight, so they kept on throwing me into battlefields. I learned to kill to survive very early on. I hated it. I thought about just leaving. I even tried to desert a couple of times, but they caught me back and punished me for it. And so I had to go back to senseless killing for no reason at all. Some people that I had known, people from my own home. My childhood was all about seeing and causing death. So many died by the 3rd year of war that the armies were mostly made of teens and children like me. I think the youngest kid I killed in the battlefield was around 6 years old, and one day he arrived. Orochimaru. He was a master in convincing people of doing things for him, and also accepting deals. And he convinced the younger brother, the leader of my army, that he could give him a way to win the war by providing his army with an immense power that would destroy the older bastard's army. And so the younger brother made all of his soldiers go through this ritual of gaining power. Orochimaru bestowed the curse mark upon us. The pain was unimaginable, and it almost killed me when it happened, but I resisted. I was one of the lucky ones. 9 out of every 10 soldiers died from the curse mark effects, but Orochimaru assured the younger brother that the power we gained would more than offset the loss in numbers. And so the brother arranged to meet his bastard brother's army on the battlefield for the last time. The 2 armies would clash against each other together at full power to finally decide who would inherit that godforsaken island. And so the two armies, filled with children and teens, with a raging curse mark, clashed. We used the power of the curse mark. We wanted to achieve a quick victory, but the problem was, unbeknownst to the younger brother, Orochimaru had given the curse mark to the enemy army as well. He was using all of us to experiment with the curse mark, testing its powers. We were his guinea pigs. He was simply playing both sides so a great battle of curse marks would happen and he could see the results, see if something interesting would happen, and also try to find a proper vessel. The fighting was the most brutal thing I've ever witnessed. I killed everything that moved. I didn't even think it through. I just killed. The power of the curse mark blinded me to it. It desensitized me to the blood and death around me. I didn't even feel human anymore. It simply compelled me to kill until I lost myself entirely. The rest of the battle was a blur. When I came back to it, I stood alone on top of a mountain of corpses. Everywhere I looked was red, and one man stared at me with a terrifying smile.
Magnificent! You killed all of them. Your enemies, your allies. You destroy them all. You will be a perfect vessel.
I cried, realizing what I did, killing everyone after losing my sense of self. I massacred them all. My body for some reason was more adapted to the curse mark chakra. It could sustain it for longer. It could hold more chakra in, but it also made me much more unhinged for it. Orochimaru's neck extended and his head leapt towards me and bit me. He injected some kind of poison that made me pass out, and I woke up in his laboratory, where Orochimaru would conduct all sorts of experiments on me. He used drugs and jutsus that altered my state of mind, my body, and my chakra. He used sealing jutsus to perfect the pill he was creating using my blood and my chakra for it. He tested all sorts of theories on me. I was his vessel, and after months of experiments, he developed the Mind Awakening pill, which allowed a curse mark user to gain much more control over it, to draw more curse chakra, and to gain finesse over it. A curse mark user becomes much more powerful whenever they eat that pill. It also can kill you, but Orochimaru developed a way around it. A sealing jutsu that would put your body on stasis so that you wouldn't die from the pill, and he used me to create all that. I was the first one to take the pill, and I was already gifted with a curse mark, so I became so much more powerful. But the experiments he ran on me, with all those drugs and jutsus affecting my brain, they all broke my mind. I became bipolar, and having the curse mark made my condition so much worse. I was too dangerous. Whenever I had an episode, the curse mark would lash out, and whenever the curse mark began to influence me, it made me even more psychotic. My unhingedness becomes a snowball of death. Kimimaro was the only one who could calm me down, and when he died, I got locked up because nobody could contain my episodes. It took years for you guys to come and free me, and thanks to Sasuke, I can be free again. He's the only one after Kimimaro that can calm me down. I don't want to kill anymore. I did it too much already. I hate doing that, and when I am having an episode, I don't even realize what's happening. Things are fine for now because Sasuke is alongside me. He's relying on me to fulfill his mission, and I wish to keep him safe in gratitude for what he's done. But once he's done with his mission, I will become a burden. It makes no sense for Sasuke to be constantly worried about me, always watching over me in case I have an episode. I'll have to be locked up again. We'll take care of that when the mission is over, Suigetsu said. No offense, but you can't calm me down. We can find a way. And also, I'm pretty sure Sasuke wouldn't just leave you hanging after helping him with his life's mission. Yes, Sasuke's a nice guy, Karin said, and Suigetsu scowled at her. I never knew you guys' stories were so screwed up, though. Well, I guess that's a requirement for anybody who ends up with Orochimaru. It's your turn now, Suigetsu. I told you I'm not telling you my story. Oh, come on, we're not gonna laugh. And we literally told you ours. My story's not even that interesting. It doesn't matter, just tell us. Suigetsu, sometimes it's better to let it out. I feel oddly calm and relaxed after having told you what happened to me. Okay, whatever. Well, I guess everything started on that mission. I went as an observer. Ironically enough, it was also to an island, Juugo. What kind of island? Well, it was an island of weirdos. The habitat of the Land of Water's Shark Clan. Watch part 56 right here. Definitely like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please help me out. Comment down below what you thought about this episode, and thank you so much for watching.